Hey guys, Enosh here, and it is a rainy Wednesday afternoon. But today we are flying high as we talk about Supergirl season 3, episode 1. Today we're going to do our review of that and just talk about what I thought of the show, what I thought of the episode, and what it can mean going forward. So we're going to let some of you guys start to trickle in, but I know Supergirl is a divisive show. Sometimes there's people who either like it, or there's people who really don't like it, and then there's people who just don't want to even give it a chance. You know, maybe they tried to tune in when the show first started, and they just don't like it. I have learned to appreciate Supergirl the way I appreciate Gotham, and that is there are things about it that I don't like. There are things that they do that I don't like, but overall, I like the show, and I've learned to live with it. And I kind of look at it as this is the version of Supergirl that this is. All right. Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you, Labrador. Yeah, so today we're talking about Supergirl, and so here we go. First of all, this episode is filled with lots of cool, iconic imagery. First of all, the Superman Returns imagery. I was really surprised about that. They've got the shot, one of my favorite shots. Superman Returns is not my favorite Superman movie. I did not like Brandon Routh in that role. I just didn't think it was good. I didn't think that the movie was well written. There were so many things that could have been good about that movie. You're not a bad person, Labrador, for not watching Supergirl. It just is what it is, you know. It's good to see you too, man. You know, it's not a bad show. It just is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. And so I will say this: if you haven't seen it yet and you think you're going to, or you want to go into it without spoilers, you know, then probably skip this video. But I don't know if it's on Netflix or not. I know, you know, they've released it on DVD, the first 2 seasons, but I'm not sure if it's on Netflix yet or not. I mean, it's on CBS, so, or well, I'm sorry, it was on CBS. Now it's on the CW. I don't know why I said that. So I don't know if it's on Netflix yet, but because I honestly. So here's my thing, Labrador. I'm a bad person. I don't do Netflix. I used to do Netflix a long time ago, and there's probably some things that I would really like on Netflix. I'd love to see Stranger Things. I'd love to see the Marvel stuff on there. But I just haven't been able to bring myself to come back to Netflix yet. And so you know, I will eventually. Tiffany wants to. There's shows on there that she wants to watch. She's really wanting to watch the Full House sequel, you know. So, yeah. So if you like girls, you'll like Supergirl, I think. Although one of my problems with Supergirl is sometimes they downplay the men in the show to make her look better and to boost her. So let's just go ahead and jump in and talk about Supergirl. So here there will be spoilers. So I'm not the Walking Dead guy. I tried to get into the Walking Dead, but unfortunately I watched the first couple episodes, and I'm just not a big zombie guy, but I've got a ton of friends who are really into it, and my boys Isaac and Logan are really into Walking Dead. And so maybe we should have them do reviews on The Walking Dead, because I know that they really like it. So, oh, okay, well then there you go. Yeah, I tried to watch season 1, and I couldn't get into it. It's kind of like Arrow. I started watching Arrow, and I just couldn't get into it in first season, and that's what everybody tells me about that. It's like, if you just skip the first season and go into season 2, you'll love it. And so hey, I worked third shift for a while, so I was a zombie myself. So there you go. But on to Supergirl. First of all, I like the dream sequence at the beginning of the episode, and we got to see our first picture or first glimpse of Erica Durance as Supergirl's mom. They've replaced her on the show, and so now it's Erica Durance, who is on Smallville as Lois Lane, who is my favorite Lois Lane. Now, I say favorite Lois Lane. She's my favorite on-screen Lois Lane as far as personality. But Margot Kidder will always be my Lois Lane. I got to meet her a couple years ago at a Comic-Con, and that was just like a dream come true for me. So, you know, that was it was really cool to meet her. So Erica Durance is now playing her mom, and that was cool. She's having this dream sequence. Supergirl's really having a hard time dealing with the loss of her man, you know, of Mon-El, and so that's going to be something that's probably still she's going to have to work with this season. But like I said, we got some cool imagery a la Superman Returns. Even though I'm not a big Superman Returns fan, it's ironic because some of my favorite Superman imagery comes from that. I love the scene where he's hovering above the earth and he's just listening for all of the people who may need help or whatever. I think that that's an amazing scene and something that definitely should be in a Superman movie. And so Supergirl's doing that in this episode. She's hovering above the earth. She's hovering above the city, and she's I almost said Central City. She's hovering above the city and just listening. And then she takes off. Now, so that's one iconic image that we saw from this that gives a nod to Superman Returns. The other image that also gives a nod to Superman Returns was the Gatling gun, and the fact that Supergirl comes in and gets between the Gatling gun and somebody and takes the bullets. And of course, you know, that was in Superman Returns where Brandon Routh flies in and you know, the guy's shooting the Gatling gun and he takes the bullets. And so that was really cool to see those two iconic images of, you know, from other Superman shows. Again though, so here's the thing, I don't like it when Supergirl borrows from Superman mythology, and I try not to be too hardcore about that, you know, because I want to give some leniency, but like I don't like it when they try to boost Supergirl and make her like she's, you know, better than Superman or whatever. And I'm not saying that a woman can't, you know, be a strong character or be better than a man. I'm not saying that at all. It's just that Supergirl has fought a lot of Superman's villains, and like even in this one they brought in Bloodsport, which is a Superman villain. Okay, you know, that's fine. I see that they can cross over, and they can do that. Labrador asks, how's my wife, sister, mother doing? Well, my wife is doing fine, my sisters are doing great, and unfortunately my mother's no longer with us. So but Tiffany's doing really good. She's just she's at work today, and I'm on lunch break, and I had to get my my new license plate here. So no, so back to this. I don't like it when they borrow too much from Superman, and I felt like they did that. And then this week they did something that, man, the Jimmy Olsen signal watch. That was rough for me, because that's something that Superman gave to Jimmy Olsen, not Supergirl. And I understand, you know, Jimmy Olsen's on this show and he's kind of doing this thing, but, you know, like I said, this is one of those times where I have to suspend what I would normally feel for a show and hope that they would go down a certain route, and they're not, and they're borrowing a lot from Superman because, well, Superman's not on screen and we don't have a Superman show, so that's what's going on. And I can respect that, and that's fine. But I just wish that they wouldn't do that a lot, and just take too much from the Superman mythos and put it on Supergirl instead of Superman, because Superman is in this world and in this universe, and so that's my thoughts about that. Other than that, the show was pretty good. The episode was pretty good. Obviously, Kara is dealing with a lot of stuff in this episode, dealing with the loss of Mon-El, and she's